Who is she, and why did Jungkook keep her a secret all this time? The world stopped for a moment when BTS's golden maknae, Jungkook, dropped a bombshell. He's getting married at just 27. But it wasn't the timing that shook fans to their core, it was the bride. Unknown, unexpected, and absolutely mysterious. Let's uncover the truth behind this stunning revelation. Only on red carpet revealed. Phones buzzed. Brows furrowed. Armies across the globe stared blankly at their screens, rereading the same sentence over and over again. Jungkook is getting married. Yes, that Jungkook. The golden maknae of BTS. The untouchable idol who once said he belonged to ARMY. The global pop icon whose every move was dissected, analyzed, and worshipped like scripture. And now, he was announcing a life-changing decision that sent shockwaves through the fandom and beyond. But the truth underclap wasn't the fact that he was marrying, it was who he was marrying. The world first got wind of the news through a headline that hit like a meteor. Jungkook to marry at 27, bride is not a celebrity. Within minutes, it trended globally. Fans scoured every dispatch archive, dug through past V-Lives, and scrutinized every grainy photo in hopes of spotting a clue. There was none, and that's when the disbelief turned into obsession. Confirmation came from HYBE itself, issued in a short yet monumental press release. Jungkook has decided to take a new step in his personal life. He is preparing for marriage with someone he has known for a long time. We ask for your warm support. The internet imploded. Just days later, in a quiet yet heavily guarded hotel in Seoul, Jungkook appeared in front of a small group of reporters. Dressed in a simple black suit, no stylists, no filters, just Jungkook, raw and real. He took a deep breath, smiled faintly, and said, "There's someone who's always seen me not as Jungkook of BTS, but just as Jungkook." The room waited. Some with bated breath, others blinking back tears. "She's not in the industry. You've never seen her on TV. She's just someone I met long ago, in high school. In Busan." That's right. Jungkook's mysterious bride is his high school classmate from Busan, the very hometown where his journey to stardom began. Her name? Still undisclosed. Her job? Said to be working in education, far from the glitz of the entertainment world. Her online presence? Non-existent. Every account either private or deleted. And that's exactly how Jungkook wanted it. Reactions came fast and furious. Some cheered, "He deserves happiness. I'm so proud of him." Others mourned, "I knew this day would come, but I didn't think it would hurt this much." Many armies felt blindsided. How could their idol keep such a big part of his life hidden for so long? But that, in itself, was the twist. This wasn't some whirlwind celebrity fling. This was a slow-burning story of quiet loyalty, one that stretched back to crowded school hallways and shared test papers. Sources close to the couple revealed that Jungkook and his bride had reconnected during a private visit to Busan in early 2022. At the time, it was assumed he was just visiting family. But insiders now say it was during that trip that their bond was rekindled. Since then, they'd kept in touch, often meeting discreetly, sometimes in Seoul, sometimes in Busan, always behind closed doors. Friends say she had always respected his dreams, never chasing the spotlight, and maybe that's what drew him closer. She kept his secrets, even when they weren't hers to keep. A friend of the bride, anonymously. While her name has not been made public for safety and privacy reasons, a few details have emerged. Age, 27, same as Jungkook. Hometown, Busan, South Korea. Occupation, private high school teacher. Currently on extended leave. Personality, described by classmates as quiet, artistic, and deeply thoughtful. One former classmate shared, "Back then, no one would have imagined she'd marry Jungkook, but she always supported him. Always. He even kept a journal of his early performances, like she knew he was going to change the world." During the press conference, asked why now, Jungkook paused and answered with unshakable clarity, "Because I want to share my life with someone who knows the version of me before the fame." He went on, "I found comfort in her silence, peace in her presence, and love in the simplest moments." He also promised that marriage wouldn't change his dedication to music or fans. "ARMY changed my life. She gave me back myself. I'm still here for all of you." In Busan, before fame found him, Jungkook was an ordinary teenager with extraordinary dreams. According to one former teacher at their school, the two often worked together on art projects, while Jungkook was already known for his dancing and musical talents. He had quietly gained a reputation as a gifted writer and illustrator. She used to sketch during breaks, the teacher recalled, and Jungkook would often come by, compliment her drawings, and sometimes ask her to draw ideas he had in his head. They seemed to speak a language only they understood, simple, quiet, but connected. It wasn't a schoolyard romance, not then. Jungkook left Busan for Seoul at a young age, chasing his dreams with BTS. They lost contact, like so many school friends do. He became a global superstar. She stayed behind, choosing a quieter path. But fate, as it often does in the most unexpected stories, circled back. In 2022, during one of Jungkook's unannounced visits to Busan, a mutual friend invited him to a private gathering. Nothing extravagant, just a few old classmates catching up over tea. And she was there, sitting in a corner, almost the same, yet completely different. Their eyes met. And, according to those present, something shifted in the air. Jungkook, known for his confidence on stage, suddenly looked nervous. She smiled. They talked for hours. Not about BTS. Not about fame. But about life, what they'd both missed, what they'd grown into, and who they had become. That moment on, they began seeing each other quietly. There were no late-night dates in Seoul's trendiest districts, no paparazzi-ridden hideouts. Their time together was simple: Busan's coastline walks, quiet cafes tucked away in alleys, handwritten letters slipped into books. For over a year, they kept their relationship under wraps. Not out of shame, but out of protection. Jungkook, having lived half of his life under the camera's gaze, knew the weight public scrutiny could place on a private bond. And she, fiercely independent. No interest in the spotlight. Their relationship grew in silence. While the world speculated about Jungkook's love life, imagining celebrity pairings and endless rumors, the real story was unfolding far away from the flashing bulbs, a story rooted in friendship, grounded in trust, and protected by choice. Jungkook finally decided to share the truth. It wasn't to make headlines. It was, as he told close friends, an act of love. He didn't want to hide anymore. He didn't want to walk two paths. He wanted to be whole, on stage, and off. What followed his confession was a rare moment of vulnerability, not just from him, but from the entire fandom. For years, fans had known him as the youngest, the sweet one, the hard worker who rarely spoke about himself. But now, they were seeing a different side, a man who had grown into adulthood, who had loved quietly, who now stood tall with his choice. This wasn't just a celebrity wedding, it was a declaration of identity. And as the pieces came together, the narrative shifted. What began as shock turned into understanding. Slowly, even skeptics began to see the beauty in Jungkook's journey, not as an idol, but as a human being. Itself, set to take place on a quiet cliffside estate near Busan's Namgu district, will be attended only by family, close friends, and BTS members. Sources say the bride has declined all interview requests and intends to return to her private life after the ceremony. There will be no magazine spreads, no reality shows, no glamorous wedding special. There will just be two people, promising to walk through life together. And perhaps that's what makes this story so compelling. World obsessed with spectacle, Jungkook's choice to love quietly feels revolutionary. He has proven that even the most visible star can have private, unfiltered moments of truth. He has shown that love doesn't have to be loud to be real. The ripples of this revelation will likely influence how other idols approach their own personal lives in the future. For so long, love in the K-pop world was hidden behind curtains, painted as a threat to fan loyalty. But Jungkook's openness has cracked the door wide open, not to invade privacy, but to make space for honesty. Already, younger idols have begun to post more openly about their relationships with friends and family. Agencies are rethinking their strict no-dating rules. And fans, once rigid in their expectations, are beginning to embrace a new kind of loyalty, one that includes room for their idols to grow, to love, and to live fully. As for Jungkook, he remains focused on music. Reports indicate that his next solo album will be deeply personal, exploring themes of memory, belonging, and intimate transformation. Collaborators close to the project have hinted that the lyrics will reflect this new chapter of his life, his fears, his hopes, and the quiet strength he found in someone who knew him before the world did. In a recent closed-door rehearsal, Jungkook was heard singing a new verse that brought his team to tears. Though no official titles have been released, one lyric leaked from the studio says, "You knew me before the lights, and still chose to stay when they turned on." Perhaps that's the truest love story of all. And as fans watch him walk this unfamiliar yet beautiful path, there is a new understanding growing, one that says, even idols deserve their happy ending. Jungkook has always given the world everything, his voice, his passion, his soul. Now, he's chosen someone to share the quiet, unwatched moments with. Not a celebrity. Not a model. Just a girl from Busan who once passed him notes in class. And in that, there is something breathtaking. This isn't the end of Jungkook's story. It's just the beginning.